and let us all do we can to build a better future. We're currently being ruled over by a bunch of senile senior citizens. And unfortunately, nothing's going to fundamentally change until not only do we put in term limits, but get money out of politics. And I'll go a step further, but maybe preventing people at the age of 80 holding these key positions of power. Look, we've seen the cognitive decline of a lot of these politicians. Dianne Feinstein doesn't even know where she's at. Okay, so you vote blue no matter who, people. I'm going to purposely say this just to trigger you, just to get you upset. Dianne Feinstein had her time. She should have retired years ago. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, remember that tough old hag bag? Yeah, she should have retired. Her ego and pride helped cause this current situation that we're having. Not Trump. Yes, Trump appointed some Supreme Court judges. That's true. That's very true. But I can't help it if the Democrats are nutless wonders, not actually taking the initiative to ensure that, yes, maybe the liberals could still have majority in the Supreme Court, but they didn't do it because the Democrats are nutless wonders. And they have convinced a lot of you vote blue no matter who people to accept things the way they are and to hand out your money to the Democratic establishment. So well done, vote blue no matter who. You played yourselves, okay? So look, I want to play just a couple of videos here of, first of all, of old hagbag Nancy. So, again, brace yourselves, folks, because this is going to be difficult to watch. But at the same time, too, I hope this convinces you to break away and not support the Democratic Party, because this is the face of the Democratic Party. Yes, it's a nightmare. Listen to the words that old hagbag Nancy has to say about Joe Biden. I kid you not. She said this on BSDNC.
Prouder of him. And again, we're very fortunate that he is in that position. But again, age is relative. What I was in LA for some Democratic stuff recently, and I met with Norman Lear, who's 100, going on 101. He was telling me some new shows he was involved in.
101. Okay. God. All right, whatever. It is what it is.
I was meeting with Frank Gehry, a 90-something architect, showing me new buildings he's building throughout the world. And they were like, 80? He's a kid. But it's a kid.
A senile old man is a kid. Joe Biden's a kid. Somebody who's 100 years old. The country's dying. People are starving in the streets. Homeowners are incapable of maintaining their homes. The American people are being abandoned. But Biden's just a kid, and they're laughing about it on BSDNC.
It is. It's relative. He's younger than I am, so he's a kid to me.
God damn it. God damn it. Again, these are the people that rule over us. So I want to play a video here that captured and went viral. It really says a lot about Joe Biden, because the man is clearly suffering from a huge decline. And I have seen relatives of mine suffer from dementia and Alzheimer's. It is very painful to watch and to deal with. But Joe Biden clearly is not fit for the job. So vote blue no matter who. There's really no excuse in regards towards Biden's behavior or him acting like this, because it looks like he's asleep.
And we brought Israelis and Palestinians together at a political level, and Akra and all Shram.
Yeah.
And as I affirmed the Prime Minister.
Again, talking like this, looking like he's asleep, that he's not fit for the job. Look, again, I get it. We're all going to grow old, even me, right? But there does come a point where you really have to assess the situation. And even this, Democrats, you're going to have to really come to terms with the fact that Biden is no spring chicken. He's at that age where he needs to retire. He's at that age where he needs to step aside. He should not be in charge of a global superpower. He's incapable of doing the job. And look, we got to bring up his health because the media is talking about it. This is from ABC News. Biden's suffering from sleep apnea, apparently. And that's a very serious medical issue because for those of you who don't know, sleep apnea impacts the way you sleep. Hell, there are moments where you're not even breathing.
Is at the White House for us. Jay, we do have some news here that we want to get to as President Biden has started using a CPAP machine to treat his sleep apnea. What are you learning about these breaking details here?
Yeah, Kana, the White House just confirming that the president in recent weeks, our chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce is told, has been using a CPAP machine to deal with his sleep apnea. The White House releasing this statement, I'll read it to you in full. Since 2008, the president has disclosed his history with sleep apnea in thorough medical reports. He used a CPAP machine last night, which is common for people with that history.
Now, this is news, apparently, but, you know. But it also kind of explains Biden's behavior, too, because if he's not getting enough oxygen, that will impact your brain, your cognitive abilities, and can further cause health problems down the road. This man has no business in the White House. Vote blue no matter who. Yes, you could celebrate the time you had brunch in 2020, but is this the dog you want in the race? Well, I guess apparently so. Now you got to own it because apparently, again, Joe Biden needs a breathing machine so he doesn't die in his sleep.
This first came to light because of these images you're seeing on your screen right now. The president, and I was there as well, speaking with reporters before he got on the helicopter to deliver that economic speech in Chicago that you just played a soundbite of. And some could see the marks that you can somewhat make out on the image there on the side of his face. Those marks are from the CPAP machine we are learning now. Again, the president has a history with sleep apnea. He is using this machine to treat his sleep apnea. There's not a direct correlation, of course, between sleep apnea and age, but this news comes.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Because the older you get, sometimes your body fails you. Come on. Come on, ABC. Be serious here. Stop being stupid. Stop being stupid with all of us. Biden is an old man and has there's no real legitimate reason why he should be running for re-election. His entire administration is riddled with corruption and abuse of power.
Amidst those conversations that Americans are having about the president's age, David Muir asking the president about his age, about Americans' concerns about his age. In a February interview, the president saying that those concerns are legitimate, but he answered David, as he repeatedly answers these questions, with the phrase, "Watch me." The president saying that he is going to make sure that he demonstrates that he is up to the job, even for those Americans who are concerned about his age.
So let's talk about Biden even further, like, because again, it's just interesting to see really what kind of reality these politicians live in. Here, you can see this quote: Joe Biden is a person who respects others' points of view, the vision of our founders, respects the sacrifices of our men and women in uniform to keep our freedom intact, and again honors the aspirations of our children. Let's have democracy in a chat. Type 1 if like, yes, Nancy Pelosi is saying that. It's true. That's what Joe Biden really feels. Type 2, no. No, kid. No.
We have to be hopeful. That's just the way we're an optimistic country. We'll be hopeful that as we
Hey, are you optimistic? Yes or no?
go forward, we can do this in a unifying way. And we couldn't be better served in that regard than by President Joe Biden. This is a person who respects other points of view, a person who has a vision about our country that is consistent with the vision of our founders, that respects the sacrifice of our men and women in uniform to keep our freedom intact, and again, honors the aspirations of our children. He has a vision about the future. He knows the issues. He's strategic in how to get things done. And that's all intellectual from the heart. He's the most empathetic.
This is the most coherent I've seen Nancy in a long time. She probably didn't have her daily martini, or maybe they just boosted her up with a lot of drugs. Who knows? Who knows? But Nancy seems a little bit more energetic than usual.
Unifying person we could have. So I'm very excited about the reelection of the president. His Bidenomics are very kitchen table issues.
Hey, Bidenomics are kitchen table issues. Are you benefiting from Bidenomics? Type 3, yeah, Kit, eating 3 meals a day, full tank of gas, roof over my head, going on 2-week vacations, dancing in the streets. It's great. I'm living on cloud 9. Type 4, like, Jesus Christ, dude, I don't know how I'm going to get past tomorrow. It costs $300 just to go outside.
How do we address the kitchen table concerns of America's working families? And that is the most important table in America, not the boardroom table, not the cabinet room table, but the kitchen table of America's working families. And Joe Biden is committed to that. So I know that there's a lot of attention that is being paid to all these trials, but the president yesterday, the former president, saying that he's going to redo the presidency and take more power.
That doesn't surprise me. Do you want to know who laid the groundwork for that? Dick Cheney, VP to Bush Jr. Right? But see, it's been happening even long before that administration. It starts as Ronnie Boy Reagan, then Bush Sr. Do you want to know who really kind of opened the door? Because it was wrong for me to say that Dick Cheney laid the groundwork. The guy named Bill Clinton. That's the dude who really intensified things. And of course, then you have Dick Cheney's, contribution. Now, I do know of a Democrat who got into power after Bush Jr., who could have done the right thing, but and could have reversed a lot of the policies of the Bush Cheney administration. A guy named Obama. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen at all. Hell, there were probably numerous opportunities where Biden could have reversed a lot of Trump's foreign and domestic policies, but he didn't do it. Nancy, you're farting in the wind.
The genius of the Constitution is the separation of power. Separation of power. Checks and balances. That's what makes us a democracy.
That's what makes us a democracy. Okay, well, let's talk about this little quote right here. Joe Biden is a person who respects other points of views. The vision of our founders, respects the sacrifices of our men and women in uniform to keep our freedom intact, and again, honors the aspirations of our children. So let's talk about Joe Biden's respect of other people. Here, let's pull this up here. Remember when Joe Biden got in an argument with an auto worker? So again, this is where he's talking about how, again, he got in an argument with an auto worker about weapons, about the Second Amendment, and it got pretty intensified. It looks like they were about to go to blows.
Guess what? You're not allowed to own it anyway. I'm not taking your gun away at all. You need 100 rounds? No. I did not say that. That's not true. I did not say that. It's a viral video like the other ones you're putting out there. Say they're live.
Well, he just clarified it.
Wait. Take the AR-14s.
Hey, let's keep moving. There's a lot of guys.
Don't try me, pal. Don't try me, pal. That's what Biden says. But hold on. It gets even better. Gets even better. Because then you have a video like this where Biden lashes out at a Iowa voter.
Around a long time, and I know more than most people know, and I can get things done. That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape on? Let's do push-ups together, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do.
By the way, I just noticed that there's a person doing sign language. She has to interpret that in sign language. It's kind of funny, you know. Hey, let's do push-ups, man.
That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape on, let's do push-ups together, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do. Number two, no one has said my son has done anything wrong, and I did not in any.
Oh, wow. This aged terribly. This was during the early days of 2019, I believe late or early 2020, and the campaign trail during the Democratic primary. My son hasn't done anything wrong. Oh, it's a good thing. It's a good thing he wasn't told about how 2023 would play out. Otherwise, maybe he would have changed his whole statement here. But hey, there's no such thing as time travel.
Any occasion, and no one has ever said it. Not
I
one.
didn't say you were doing anything wrong.
You said I set up my son to work in an oil company.
That's true. Hey, I mean, last I checked, am I wrong? Did Hunter Biden or did he not have a job? Was a nice, cushy job in a country that none of you probably heard of. It's called Ukraine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Nothing of importance is happening there.
Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
That's what I hear on MSNBC.
You don't hear that in MSNBC. You did not hear that.
You did not hear anything on MSNBC. Hey, Nancy, this is a guy who respects other people's points of view, right?
You heard. Look, okay, I'm not going to get in an argument with you, man.
Well, I don't want to.
Well, yeah, you do, but look, Pat, look, here's the deal.
It looks like you don't have any more backbone than Trump does.
Gotta love the sheep who go, ah. And they should have been going, bah.
Any other questions?
Hey, dude, don't worry. To the guy who got bullied by Biden, take pride in knowing the fact that you were right. And Biden, well, let's just face it. Well, Biden doesn't even know where he's at anymore. He doesn't know where he's at. But hold on, we got one more. Here, this is Biden once again being a kind person, being a kind, reasonable person. Let's pull this up here.
So you're arguably the candidate with the greatest advantage in this race. You've been the vice president. You weren't burdened down by the impeachment trials. So, or in the participation. So how do you explain the performance in Iowa, and why should the voters believe that you can win the national election?
I got to cheat, Jack. Got to have Obama make that phone call on Super Tuesday.
It's a good question. Number one, Iowa's a Democratic caucus. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but you're now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. It was a little bit confusing in Iowa, number one. But let's assume it was everything was exactly right in Iowa. The idea that you come in with about half the delegates that the leaders come in with in Iowa does not necessarily say how you're going to win Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Lying dog-faced pony soldier. We're ruled by senile people. So, folks, this is, again, your daily reminder why you need to break away from the two-party system and why you have to step away from supporting the Democratic Party. What you saw there is the representation of what the Democratic establishment has turned into. It has turned into a place where the elders are acting like children, where the elders refuse to give up power. These are the architects of the neoliberal nightmare that we are in. Break away from it.